creek, walk 'em up and down in the summer heat. Same old boy changing like the seasons, country kid turning to a town right heathen. Country kid turning to a town right heathen.
Hey everybody, Old Man Van here. So today, this is a special episode for me. So as you know, I'm a big fan of the Crank Sports e-gels. Really like the Crank Sports e-gels. Been using them for the last 4 years. But I have a teammate, his name is Vikas Malik. He is a scientist for one of the pharmaceutical companies. And he also has a company that he's been running with some partners for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. And their product is called Leap, Let Every Athlete Perform. And their primary product is an energy gel, the Leap Energy Gels. So he's a teammate of mine with SoundRunner Racing here in Connecticut. And he stopped by about a week ago. He had reached out to me, asked me if, I was interested in taking a look at his gels. He gave me some samples. I'm going to take those out on my long run today. It's going to be anywhere from 12 to 14 miles. I have a half marathon in Cheshire next weekend, so it's just going to be a nice, easy long run. However, I'm going to start working on my fueling. As you might know, up until recently, the guidance was around 60 grams of carbs per hour. The Crank Sport e-gels have 37 grams of carbs. These Leap gels only have 25, but in any event, 60 grams of carbs per hour is what has been typically recommended. Now, studies are showing that 90 grams per hour or more, maybe even up to 120 grams per hour, is better for you, right? So I've had a few instances where I've kind of bonked, right, in the later stages of a marathon, and I was sticking to that maybe 2 per hour, which was right around 60 grams. I'm going to go to that 90 grams or higher, 90 to 100 grams. Get my GI tract used to that. And today, I'm going to try a combination of the Crank Sports e-gels and the Leap gels. Now, the reason why I'm adding a couple of Crank Sports is I know those. I'm going to start out with one. It's got a little caffeine in it. The Leap gels also have some caffeine in it, which is good. About 22 grams or milligrams versus the 50 milligrams in the Crank Sports e-gels. And then I'm going to just maybe alternate one Crank Sport e-gel in the middle, and I'm going to take 3 of the Leap gels. Now, what I asked Vikas about is what sets your Leap gels apart from, say, the Crank Sport e-gels or the Goos or the Sis or the Mortons. Well, the primary benefit outside of, obviously, it's an energy gel, and he said, these are designed to calm your stomach. These are designed so you don't get an upset stomach taking all of these gels. That's a real big benefit if you can do it, right? So I'm going to test that out, see how they taste, see how they go down, see how my stomach feels. And I told him I would give him an honest review on this channel. They're not yet available in the United States. They are available all across India, and I'm going to try them out and see how it goes. Okay, I'm here at the Farmington Canal Trail here in Cheshire, Connecticut. I just took my first Crank Sports e-gel. The next gel is going to be one of those Leap India gels. Let Every Athlete Perform. Again, one of my teammates, that's his company. I'm going to try them out, do a honest review of those energy gels today on my long run, 12 to 14 miles. So let's get out on the trail. Okay, at 9:51 first mile. Very nice and easy, relaxing run. About 60 degrees right now. Just look at this beautiful trail. Just gorgeous out here. Oh, it's so nice to have good weather for a change. So in about 20 minutes, I'll take the first Leap gel. I'm about 22 minutes in. I'm going to take my first Leap gel. I'm at a trash can, that's why I went a little bit over 20 minutes, but I'm going to take it now. Let's see how it goes. Here it is right here. Typical packaging for energy gels, right?
pretty much the same as Sis and all the other ones. So let's get this thing open. So let's see. Again, typical way to open it. Feels very light. Let me taste it. Very light consistency. I taste a little ginger in it, which is pretty good. It went down very easy. I don't think I need a lot of water for it. Interesting flavor here. I can taste some ginger, maybe some ginger juice in there. Went down very easy. I can see how, you know, you might not need to take water with this. If you don't have any water left, you can still take it and it'll still absorb. But I am going to take a little bit of water. I have my soft flask here. So, taste isn't bad at all. Again, I taste a little bit of ginger in there, but pretty good. I like the consistency. That's real good. Now let's see how my stomach, my GI tract, fares with these gels. So I'll take another one in 20 minutes. Okay, it's a little over 40 minutes. It's time to take my second gel. Let's get it out there. Again, it's the Leap gel. Because I got this thing in my hand, I gotta kind of stop for a second to take it. Let's do that. So here's the second one, same flavor. Let's see how this goes down. Flavor's consistent from the previous packet, so that's good. Again, I can taste the ginger in here. Think of it like a gingerbread cookie almost. That's kind of the flavor I got. Not bad. Again, it's very light consistency, so it goes down real easy. I am going to take some water, but again, I can see that you could take it without water if need be, and it would still probably absorb pretty well. So there you have it. It's a little sweet, but they all are, right? It's only got 25 grams of carbs, so not overdone it at all. We'll go over all the numbers like sodium content, amino acids and all that when we get back to the Old Man Van Cave. Okay, I'm gonna take my next Leap gel. About an hour and 20 minutes in. So this will be gel number 5 already. So you're getting that stomach ready. So far, so good. Okay, so here she is again. I'll just give you a quick look on the back. I don't know if you can read it, but we'll see. All right, gonna take it. A little warm. Like I said, it's got that ginger, maybe more like a ginger snap flavor to it. Again, goes down real easy. So I have one more I'm gonna take in 20 minutes and that'll be it for the run. So far, so good. It's time to take the last Leap gel. So the last one today, that's 4 Leap gels and 2 Crank Sports E-gels. Hanging in there, trying to get maximum amount of carbs in there. So let me get this in. It's just short of the 20 minutes. I'm near a trash can here, so I don't want to leave my wrappers out on the trail, so be polite, don't do that. I see it way too much out here. Cyclists, runners, leaving their gel packs out on the trail. Beautiful, beautiful nature. Don't do that. There's no reason for it. You're out here enjoying nature and you got a litter. That really sucks. Okay, I'm done. Let's see here what the final thing is. 13.2 miles, 104.48, 927 per mile pace. The last couple of miles were right around like 9:02 to 9:06. So pretty good. I took 4 of his gels and 2 of the Crank Sports E-gels, so a total of 6 gels today, every 20 minutes. My stomach held up. The gels were fine. The Leap gels, they've got that ginger flavor in them, so kind of like a ginger snap flavor. What I like about them, and we'll talk more in the cave, is that they're very light, meaning they're not that viscous. They're even less viscous than the Crank Sports E-gels, so they go down very easily. And you know, it's not like a paste like the Goos and some of the other ones. So I like the consistency. I'm gonna get home, get a recovery drink in, get a shower, get a meal, and start recovering.
So there you have my trail test of the Leap gels from India. Let every athlete perform. These come from a friend of mine, a teammate of mine, Vikas Malik. He's a teammate at SoundRunner Racing. He also used to run for the Indian national team. And in 2017, I believe, he set the Indian national record at 100 miles. So pretty accomplished ultra runner and just a really good all-around runner and a great person. Now, he came to me and said, hey, Bill, would you be willing to try out my gels? I said, Vikas, absolutely. I'm more than happy to test these out for you and see if I like them. And, you know, I'll do a review, an unbiased review on YouTube, which I'm doing right now. So he brought me a bag of these, and they are, again, the classic flavor right here, just the ginger flavor, like ginger snap, you know, gingerbread cookies. And I took these out on that run, and as you could see, not too bad. No stomach issues whatsoever. Went down very easy. Very light consistency, and that's something that I do like. The Crank Sports e-gels are nowhere near as thick as, say, Goose, right? They're a little thicker than SIS. They are not the same type of consistency as the Morton gels. I like the Crank Sports e-gels, but I actually like the consistency here in the Leap gels a little bit better. So here on the screen, you kind of see the breakdown, right? It's got about 25 grams of carbs, 24 point something, 23 grams of caffeine. It's got 150 milligrams of sodium. It's got some taurine in there. It's got leucine, so it's got a bunch of amino acids, a tiny bit of protein. It's about, let's say about 104 calories. From a carb standpoint, it's primarily maltodextrin, really no other added sugars like fructose and glucose and all that good stuff. And I really, again, like the consistency here. So all of those are great, right? All of those are great. They're things you need. If I was going to take 100 grams an hour, obviously I'd have to take 4 of these if I wanted 100 grams of carbs, but they're smaller and easier to handle than some of the other Goop packs, especially the big packs of the Crank Sports e-gels. So easy to fit in there because of the consistency. They kind of press down a little bit. Easy to open, typical package here. Now, on the back here, it's a little bit hard to read. They're going to increase the font and everything like that. Now, one of the key ingredients gives it that ginger flavor, right? Ginger is known to help calm the stomach, especially in Eastern medicine. So instead of encapsulating the carbohydrates to kind of slow it down so it doesn't upset your stomach, that ginger that's in these gels naturally calms your stomach. Now, I don't typically have stomach issues with gels, so I can't really say whether that works. I can't say whether it works. I do know that ginger in Eastern medicine is known to calm the stomach. Ginger ale, right? When you were sick as a kid, what did they give you? They gave you ginger ale, right? So whether that's the carbonation or the ginger or whatever, I know that ginger is supposed to be good to kind of keep your gut calm. So, you know what? Jury's out there. I don't have a problem. People who do have problems should kind of try this out. As I said, I think I could take these without water. I think I could. The consistency is that light, which I really like. Because sometimes, you know, even with the Crank Sports e-gels, I still got to take water with them. I could technically take it without water, but they're just a little too thick for that. And you really want quick absorption, right? And here, the consistency is so light that I think that would work very, very well. Now, as for Vikas's company, they've got a whole range of endurance products. From the gels, they've got salt tabs. You can see here. Here's a couple of screenshots of Leap India's website. And you can see all of the different types of products. They've got energy bars. I'm going to try out one of the energy bars tomorrow at the Mount Archer Trail Race down in Lyme, Connecticut. I'm going to try that out. It is simply, I believe, cashews, almonds, and dates. That's it. No added sugars, no additives, just real whole food, kind of natural stuff. Dates for the sweetness. You've got the protein and the good fats from the nuts. So I'm going to try that out. And they've also got recovery drinks. They've got protein drinks. So they've got a whole litany of products here that I think really sets them up, you know, having a good portfolio for endurance athletes in general.
Okay, quick comparison between the gel that I typically take, the Crank Sports e-gel, and the Leap gel. Package size, a wider package on the e-gel,
than the Leap Gel. Leap Gel a little bit longer, but the big difference is the consistency of the gel itself. And that has a big impact on its portability. So the e-gels are pretty viscous compared to the Leap Gels, and the package is pretty large. So to take a number of these gels with me, you know, I got to try to stuff them into my naked belt or into the pockets of my short tights. So not as easy as the Leap Gels. Leap Gels, because the consistency is so light, easy to stuff a bunch of these into my naked belt or into the pockets of my short tights or a vest if I'm taking it on a real long run. So that kind of compensates for the difference in the amount of carbs. If I want 100 grams of carbs, I need to take 4 of the Leap Gels, and I only need to take 3 of the e-gels, but I can compensate because these are much easier to carry.
So that brings me to the conclusion of this initial review of the Leap Energy Gels from my teammate, Vikas Malik. First of all, I like the consistency. Nice light consistency, small package, easy to stow, easy to take from a consistency standpoint, goes down easy. Likely can take it without water. I'm going to test that out and I'll get back to you all on that. And so I like that. Neutral on the taste, at least of the classic flavor. Heavy ginger flavor. That's good. I don't mind it, but you know, there's some people out there might find that a little too strong. I'm really looking forward to testing out the other flavors or a bunch of the other flavors that Vikas has. Once I do that, I'll do a follow-up video. On the negative side, I would have to say primarily they're not in the US. They're not in the US yet, so you can't get your hands on them. I'm just getting them because my teammate has them. It's his company and he's able to get me samples. Now, additionally to that, it only has 25 grams of carbohydrates. Now, before it was like, hey, you know, 30 to 60 grams an hour. These days, the science is pushing towards high carbohydrate taking, right? So more like 90 grams to 120 grams per hour. So with the Crank Sports e-gels, they're about 35 to 37, somewhere in that range, carbohydrates. And so I could take 3 of those and get 90 plus grams at almost 100 grams. With these, I'd have to take 4. These are smaller, so I can fit 4 in there. I would like to see them maybe ramp up the carbohydrates just a little bit more because that's the direction, right? High carbohydrates is the direction, and having fewer packets that you have to take along with you is always a good thing. So there you have it, my honest review of my friend Vikas Malik's Leap Energy Gels. Let every athlete perform. Really good first couple of runs. I actually took these on the Cheshire Half Marathon a couple weeks ago, where I finished second in the 60 to 64 age group and ran a 137. Really, really good. And I think I took 3 of these plus a Crank Sports e-gel during that run. So if you're interested in finding more about the Leap Energy Gels, you can look it up on Google and go through there. You'll find out a little bit more about Vikas. So thanks again for watching this video. And remember, lace up those shoes and let's get out on the roads.
Railroad tracks run along the creek, walk 'em up and down in the summer heat. Same old boy changing like the seasons, country kid turning to a town right heathen. Country kid turning to a town